Yes, the Capricornus constellation is a sea goat, and the little loop on the symbol for Capricorn is a depiction of the tail of the sea goat. In Greek mythology, Kronos, also known as Father Time or Saturn in Roman mythology, created the sea goat, and the first sea goat was named Precus, who was also a ruler of time. And Precus had a bunch of children who were sea goats, and they had magical powers and they lived in the sea. And one day their curiosity got the best of them and they crawled up onto shore. They laid out in the sun and their tails turned into hind legs. And according to Greek mythology, that is the origin of the land goat as we know them. In my opinion, this is an allegory for the process of evolution from sea creatures into land creatures. Again, according to mythology, when these goats became land goats, they lost the magical abilities, the wisdom, and the ability to communicate that they had when they were sea goats. This left Precus, who was one of the first sea goats ever created, as the only sea goat left in the water. This, of course, led to loneliness and feelings of isolation, which are both very big themes of the planet Saturn and the constellation Capricorn. Being a ruler of time, he tried to remedy his isolation by turning back time to the point when his children were still sea goats with him in the water. But no matter how many times he turned back that time loop, every time they crawled back onto land and turned into land goats. And eventually he accepted that he could not change their fate. In his state of loneliness and depression, he asked Kronos to end his life so that he wouldn't have to live as the only sea goat in the water. But because of his immortality, Kronos couldn't end his life. So instead, he turned him into the Capricorn constellation and gave him a place in the sky. So that is the myth behind the origin of the Capricorn constellation, as well as the origins of the land goat, which are directly evolved or derived from the sea goat. And that is why, if people are going to remedy Capricorn or Saturn placements in their birth chart, then they're going to have to use a land goat because sea goats do not exist on planet Earth anymore. We got to work with what we got. And that's why, if somebody wants to remedy their Sagittarius placements or their Jupiter placement, I would tell them to work with horses or to ride horses because centaurs, the actual symbol of Sagittarius, is a mythological creature that doesn't exist on Earth.